Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. The new Star Wars film is dominating the box office. Are you excited about this?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Am I? Hit it, boys.
What is
Porgwin dance.
The what?
Porgwin dance to the side.
What is that
Back
thing?
to the front.
What is that?
Slow it down and speed it up.
That thing is hideous.
Is that
nice.
That
your dance partner? It's hideous. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen on the set.
I think it's called Porg. So I made it into the Porgwin.
You know how long Star Wars franchise has been around now? I think I was 16 when it came out.
I would say 40 years. I stopped watching. I watched the first 3.
42 years.
And then I watched the next one, and then I said, okay, I'm done here.
And now we're reprising it with this.
There are, Mike, if you go to the theater where it's being played, there are freaks. They're dress-up freaks. They're all over the place. They love it. They are cross-generational. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Kobe gets 2 jerseys retired. The Bills look for revenge on Gronk, and Melo says he's okay not scoring, if you believe that. But we begin today with the Atlanta Falcons, who won last night to push their record to 9-5. They are behind both New Orleans and Carolina in their division. But because of the schedule, Atlanta will win that division if they win their final 2 games at New Orleans and home against Carolina. Wilbon, do you believe the Falcons will win the NFC South?
No. What did you just say? You just basically said that New Orleans has the toughest schedule because they have to play. I'm sorry, Atlanta. They got to play both teams.
Yes, they do.
They got to play New Orleans and they got to play Carolina.
Yes.
The other 2 teams don't have to do that. They don't have to play both.
No, they have
teams.
Tampa.
So what? What are you talking about?
I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. What impresses me, what I want to center on, is the quarterback play. Because with these 3 teams, you have 3 former MVPs in the league.
Yes.
And in the last 2, you have Drew Brees from a while back, and you have Cam Newton and Matt Ryan in the last 2 years. So it's not going to be a lot of quarterback choking. So then you ask yourself, who has the best team? Now, I think New Orleans has the most surprising team. I didn't figure them at all.
And you and I are still a little skeptical about their ability late in the year to play defense. Let's be honest.
I think Carolina has the most underappreciated team this year.
We agree again.
But I do think Atlanta has the best team.
Atlanta's the team that we've seen choke more than the other 2.
Here's what I like about it.
And they got the hardest schedule.
Let me tell you. Yeah, but it's in front of them.
It's in front of them. The hardest schedule's in front of them.
But if they win, they have more incentive than the other teams to win both. Here's what I like about Atlanta. They went through a period of time where I believe they lost 4 out of 5 games. And everybody counted them out, including me. And they have come back much like Kansas City, but over a longer period of time.
I'll give you that.
So I think they're going to do it.
And I don't think they're going to do it again because they got the hardest schedule. You get this late in the season. So I know a team could get hot. And by the way, the quarterback play is fun to watch. Because you got 3 guys who've been to the Super Bowl, 2 even more recently, and you got a Hall of Famer automatically, Drew Brees.
That's right.
So this is fun to watch. But look, if Atlanta proves this, and I'm not saying they can't do it, I'm saying it's harder. The road for Atlanta is harder than it is for Carolina and New Orleans.
For years and years and years, a mythology was built up in the NFL that if you lost a Super Bowl, you would not even make the playoffs.
That's right.
7 of the last 8 teams to lose are in.
Yeah.
So I like them at the moment. At the moment. I do. At the moment.
Man, to revisit this, I'll be screaming.
Well, Monday morning, I could not like them. Yeah.
That Falcons win had quite a ripple effect, starting with eliminating the Green Bay Packers from playoff contention. And that likely led to the Packers placing Aaron Rodgers on IR this afternoon, ending his season. Tony, now that it's over, and we know the Packers lost to Carolina, and we know Rodgers threw 3 picks and was then immediately shut down for the season, do you have any questions about how the Cheeseheads handled this whole thing?
I will concede that I didn't see IR coming, and I would sit here, and you would sit here, and we would both say the same thing, that Aaron Rodgers has deserved the chance to determine his own future, and if he wanted to play, I might be persuaded to let him play. If I ran Green Bay, I'd try my best to convince him, sit down. Sit down for 2 games. I guess
they either convinced him or they couldn't convince him, and they said, we're doing this anyway. We're acting unilaterally.
That seems more likely because in that division, and I know you're not playing for anything, but don't you think that Green Bay wants to beat Minnesota?
Oh, I know they do. That's their blood
and Rodgers would really want to beat them.
Yeah.
So I think they probably had to twist his arm. And,
I think so, too. They handled it the way you had to handle it. Rodgers wanted to play. He pressed. Doctors said at some point, okay, even though we know the collarbone wasn't 100% healed. But you had something at stake that you wanted to go for with a Super Bowl winning franchise Hall of Fame quarterback, and you let him lead the way.
That's
good.
Right. Yeah.
Now that it's over, you sit him down. And at first you try to convince him, and then if Aaron says, no, I'm not doing that, I want to play, at some point you say, you know what? No. because we know this is not 100% healed. We're not going to risk you further with
this
nothing
year
at
is
stake.
Done.
Yeah,
this year is done, and we've got to count on next year or the year after that. And so we're going to take away your competitiveness for this year.
That's right.
I don't want to say I'm offended, but again, my position would be if he wants to play, let him play.
No,
but you're probably right. No. You know what? Green Bay is probably right.
You want Aaron Rodgers ready to go by camp next year. You do.
ESPN's Mike Reese has a story today wondering if the Patriots ought to limit Rob Gronkowski's snaps against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. This stems from a text that Buffalo's Tre'Davious White sent to ESPN's Ryan Clark after Gronkowski cheap-shotted him 3 weeks ago. And that text was, quote, "The whole hood want him," unquote.
I love that.
Wilbon, should the Patriots protect Gronkowski against the Bills?
The whole hood want him. That is great. That's as succinct as it gets. And a whole lot of people across this country understand exactly what he's saying. You're not going to limit Gronk. If he's out there for 4 snaps, you can get him. So what are you going to do? You're going to have 4 snaps or fewer than 1 snap? You're surprised us playing for 1 snap because they might get him. No, you got to live with this, Gronk. You can't go into witness protection, okay? You did this. Look, in 2 of the 4 major sports in North America, they get you. In hockey, the business is enforcer, get him.
Baseball.
And in baseball, chin music or worse.
Yeah.
So no, in football, there's no hiding. He's got to live with the consequences.
I would try, if I were the Patriots, I would think about being prudent in this for a very simple reason.
What are you going to do? How many guys? Have him a snap count?
You can't. Gronkowski is necessary. You can't win the Super Bowl without Rob Gronkowski.
Then don't play him.
Well, I might even think about that, and I'm going to tell you exactly
why. By the way, they won last year without him. You said they wouldn't.
They're not going to win this year without him because they had Edelman last year, and Edelman made the catch of the game, okay? You can't lose both of those guys and win the Super Bowl. I watched a few weeks ago Michael Crabtree not care at all about a football game because he cared about revenge against Aqib Talib. I think Buffalo cares about revenge here. And I think they are going to go after him. And I'll give you an equal case scenario.
What?
That Gronkowski is so crazy.
He might initiate something.
Yes.
And then get thrown out for a couple of games.
Yes.
By the way, White says that winning is the best revenge.
That's what he says
but
now.
The text says it all.
That's right.
Everybody understands that. You got my guy, I'm going to get your guy.
So I would, in this case.
Hold him out? The whole game?
I'd be extra sure that I had protection around him.
You can't be. We're going to do
again, I'm afraid
that
he will anticipate something and start it himself.
He is
a volatile young man.
This game is worth watching. Because if I'm Buffalo,
you're going to go get him.
I understand the hood,
You are going to go get him. That's right.
It's football. Come on. Tony, you were asleep for hours by the time the Lakers raised both jerseys, 8 and 24, to the Raptors at Staples Center. And by the time Kobe Bryant gave an especially eloquent speech to the assembled masses to shape the occasion. Tone, a look at the attendees alone would have made you genuflect. Russell, Magic, Kareem, Baylor, West, Shaq, Iverson, and let's not forget Kevin Durant, who was playing in the game. More than a half dozen of the 50 greatest players that have ever lived were listening to Kobe. And, there was a rousing game that the Warriors needed overtime to win. So, Tone, what was more important to the Lakers, the game or that Kobe ceremony?
So you sort of stacked the deck on that question,
sort of didn't you?
But you're lucky because I believe the same as you believe. I believe the ceremony was far more important because, as we talked about the other day, when the Eagles beat the Giants, and you said, no, that doesn't count because the Giants stink. This is a depleted Warriors team. There is no Steph Curry. There is no Draymond Green. So they beat the remnants. So let's just forget about that.
Durant was there. He had a hell of a game.
Well,
the game
that's
winner
right. He won the game.
He did.
He won the game, and he said, upon the occasion of taking 29 shots, more than he's taken all year, why'd you do that? Oh, it was in honor of Kobe, because Kobe guns it up. So, it's Kobe. It's Kobe.
It is Kobe. And Tony, seriously, the faces. It's like the quadruple Mount Rushmore of basketball, at least one formation of it. And Magic standing there the whole time because he's on court, as the president of the team. And you see these faces. Elgin Baylor, for us. I mean, I know most people under 50 didn't know who Elgin Baylor was when they showed him. Elgin Baylor, my God, he's a great person. Kobe said...
Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. These are great
Kobe,
players.
I thought the greatest thing what Kobe said, because they're listening, because we know the millennials, even though Kobe's sort of older than them, they listen to him, they love him, they adore him. Kobe said, this is not necessarily about my jerseys. It's about the jerseys that made me possible. And he mentioned each one of those guys. It was moving. It was emotional to me. I'm not even a Laker guy.
This is a little troubling to me.
What?
Because I think in recent years, I think that Laker fans have put Kobe on a pedestal far beyond where they once had Kobe and Shaq.
They have.
I think Shaq has been diminished in their eyes as Kobe has been elevated.
Well, Shaq left and Kobe stayed the whole career.
Is that fair?
Kobe
they won
was
3 together.
20 years.
They won 3 together.
I know. And no one should ever diminish Shaq.
As well?
Yes. But I'm just telling you why I think it is. No one should ever diminish Shaquille O'Neal and his contributions and his force of personality and what he meant.
Even though basketball now is not what it was then in terms of
he's the last guy.
Yeah.
He's the last of the Mohicans. Shaq was in the way he played the game. But Kobe was there the whole time. Kobe embodies Southern California in a way that I understand their obsession with him.
After Shaq left, though, and Kobe always gunned it up, but after Shaq left, there was no stopping him.
He got to about 24 shots a game, maybe.
Of them up. He did. The Oklahoma City Thunder won last night. They are now at 500. Russell Westbrook, who guns it up, took 28 shots. Paul George took 13 shots, and Carmelo Anthony took 6 shots. Now, let me repeat this. He took 6 shots in the whole game. Carmelo Anthony often takes 6 shots per minute. Here's what Carmelo had to say, quote, "I'm good with that. If we win, I'm cool with that. Tonight, Russ had it going, and we followed his lead," unquote. Well, about how much of that do you believe?
I do believe him. I believe that he is trying look, the one thing I admire about these 3 guys together and what they're trying to do in a way I don't necessarily mean individually is that they understand there's pressure here when you put them together as a group to have a super team and get close to winning, if not winning at all. They're trying everything. Russell Westbrook has gone down to 17 shots from 24. Then he shoots more. He's trying. Every day, Russell's trying whatever he thinks you can win to win that game that night. Paul George, they're trying. Is it working? No, it is not working. Might work by February. Do I believe that Carmelo has led himself to believe I can do this if necessary? Yes, he's trying and he's doing it. Is it going to work? No.
This is the second time in 2 weeks we've had a story about something Carmelo said that I find considerably laughable. When he said, why are we missing?
Oh, open
because
shots.
It's too open.
I know.
We're too wide open.
Doesn't that convince you he's searching, he's probing, he's trying everything he can?
And I said last week I liked the way he left New York. He left without rancor. He didn't blow everybody up on the way out.
That's right.
But he didn't go to Oklahoma City to disappear.
No.
He didn't go to score 4 points and take 6 shots.
They can't win that way.
And you're crazy to want that. Right. You get Carmelo Anthony for one part of his game. He is offense. He scores points. So even though he's saying something that I don't believe he believes, and I certainly don't believe, and I think he wants to be the good soldier and the good teammate, if he did this 10 games in a row, by the 11th game, his head would explode.
But then it's up to Billy Donovan and even Russ to say, wait a minute. We understand you're trying. No. But I mean, it's up to them specifically to go to Carmelo and say, no, we appreciate what you're trying to do. We can't do it that way. And Isaiah Thomas said this last night post-game. He just said there's going to have to be a new offensive structure. They're going to have to figure out another way to get all 3 of them more equitably involved, or it ain't going to work.
He can't take 6 shots.
No.
You think Kobe could have taken 6? Stop.
In about a minute and a half.
Let's take a break. But coming up, what's weirder, that the Rams are good or that the Jags are?
And how much credit do the Celtics really deserve for this game winner over the Pacers?
Kobe Bryant, I will say this, what I saw, he looks great.
He does look great.
He looks great.
He does.
Yeah.
Talk about charisma in Southern California.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by Captain Morgan. Holiday like a captain. Please drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour. And in part by Gut.
There may be 2 sides to every issue, but there's only one winner, and you, my friends, you're looking at him.
What's first? Let's go.
Toss up more unlikely success story, the Rams or the Jags?
So the Jaguars were 3-13 last year. They're 10-4 now. And the Rams were 4-10 last year, 4-12 rather. So now they're 10-4 as well. So that's a slight edge, I think, to the Jaguars. They both have brand new coaches who are doing very well. They both play in comparably terrible divisions. They both have quarterbacks who stunk last year. Right? Goff was terrible, Bortles was terrible, and they're both very good this year.
Make a pick.
It's almost like a push. The Rams are first in offense. The Jags are first in defense. You know I like offense, so I will say slight edge Rams.
I'm going to go with the Jags just for sake of argument because I think you can't separate them. The Jaguars, Tony, hadn't had more than 5 wins since 2010. 5-11, 2-14, 4-12, 3-13, 5-11, 3-13. They never get to 6. The Rams at least had a 6 or a 7 thrown in there.
They haven't been to playoffs.
Listen, number 1 in team defense and scoring. 51 sacks lead the league. Jalen Ramsey's great. Calais Campbell, 14.5 sacks. Yeah. And Ramsey said, Tony, we were sorry last year. Now we're not. That about sums up both of them, doesn't it?
100%.
Really does.
Next.
Toss up about last night. Credit for the Celtics or blame for the Pacers?
Okay, to set this up, Boston trailed by 5 points with 30 seconds left, and the Celtics won the game. They became the first NBA team in 380 circumstances to win a game like that. Look, it's very easy to blame the team that loses.
Right there.
They throw
There's
passes
the blame.
away.
Bogdanovich across the court.
I'm going to say this.
What?
You need to make shots. You need to win the game. Kyrie Irving had 2 threes in the last 30 or 35 seconds. The last play is a slam dunk. But you know what, Mike?
What?
You can't allow yourself to get fouled and miss the basket. You have to go up strong. I'm going to give the credit to the winning team, to the Celtics.
No, Tony. No. It's one play. It's all on one play. Bogdanovich threw the ball, a lob pass, a blooper pitch in the air.
It was bad.
And Rozier, who used to be apparently a cornerback when he was playing high school football, just got it, went and flushed it, unlike Lonzo Ball, who should have flushed his attempt last night. And the Lakers would have won that game against Golden State, but he didn't. As Isaiah Thomas, I'm going to quote him again, said on NBA TV post-game last night, you learn in high school not to throw that cross-court pass. Pacers lost it.
It's a lot of Isaiah Thomas time.
I know.
That's enough with this.
That's right.
Next.
Zeke.
Toss up, what should the Bulls do with Niko Mirotic? Keep him or trade him?
I don't care. I don't care about the Bulls.
We didn't ask you to
the
care.
Bulls stink. The drama in this is the fact that Mirotic got in a fight with Bobby Portis.
Yeah.
He was out for 30 games or whatever.
Well,
he's
not
come
30.
back. He's averaged 20
Not even
points
20.
in the 6 games that he's played, and they've won them all.
Yeah.
You know what? Live with it. Just like Papelbon and Bryce Harper. Live with it.
Don't you agree? Don't you like trust the process? Don't you believe you have to lose big? If you have to lose big, Portis and Mirotic aren't helping that because they're playing so well. The Bulls have won 6 straight. They're going to win their 7th tonight against Orlando at home. He and Portis and Chris Dunn, and they don't even have Zach LaVine, this kid Markkanen. By the way, this speaks, you know what this speaks to quietly? Doug Collins and player development there. That's what it speaks largely to. And they put together a better roster than they wanted. If you can trade him and get a pick, I want to lose more games. I want the Duke kid. Can you get the pick from Cleveland that belongs to Brooklyn, even though Brooklyn's not that bad? Only if you can get something great for Mirotic do you trade him.
And again, I don't care.
I don't care if you don't care.
Next.
Last one, toss up, who are you rooting for in tonight's Cheribundi Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl?
That's awful.
Akron or FAU?
First of all, what kind of name is the Cheribundi Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl? These are not even cherries you can eat. It's cherry juice, because I looked it up.
Okay.
You can't even eat these things. Second of all, I root completely for Lane Kiffin, and I know you don't.
I root against him.
I want him to win by 40 points. I think that he takes a lot of gas from a lot of people who conveniently forget that he actually knows something about offense. His team is scoring right at 39.8, almost 40 points a game. They're 10-3 this year. They were 3-9 last year, and he just signed a 10-year extension. The over-under on how long he lasts, 1 year.
Let me just say very simply.
You hate him.
I root for the Midwest against anybody. And
Okay.
certainly, and I sound like a Union soldier. For the North against the South, son. I'm rooting for Akron against
Boca Raton is not the South. No, Boca Raton is the
that your
North
boy
that was
coaches
moved out.
is the South.
It's
and one of them is
Boca
nowhere
Raton.
near I-95. I'm happy to root for LeBron James's hometown, the good Midwestern people
I believe it's
of
possible
Akron.
that Florida Atlantic is actually on I-95.
That's another reason to root against it. By the way, wait.
What? That's it.
How the Knicks doing?
One last. I don't care.
You care about them?
No. Still to come.
How they
Well, I don't care about your team either. A Mirotic. Who's going to stop the Rockets? Wilbon will tell you which team will break the winning streak.
And with the addition of you, Darvish, make the Cubbies favorites to win the World Series.
Captain, please drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 53rd birthday, Arvydas Sabonis.
Ooh.
Sabonis was to Iron Curtain basketball what Bill Walton was to American basketball. A stunning talent whose injuries kept us from seeing their prolonged greatness. Sabonis' son, DeMontis, plays for the Pacers. He led the bench last night with 18 points and 7 rebounds. Well, but did you ever see the elder Sabonis live in his prime?
Yeah, so did you, because I think we were sitting at courtside in Charlottesville in 1982, and he was 18. He put up 20 and 14 against Ralph. As an 18-year-old on the Soviet junior team, I think Bob Knight said he might have been the best prospect I'd ever seen.
Happy anniversary, Jim McMahon. On this day 37 years ago, he completed a Hail Mary to Clay Brown to finish off a 21-point comeback in the final 4 minutes, excuse me, for a 46-45 BYU Holiday Bowl win over Eric Dickerson and SMU. Now, Dickerson became the better pro. He's a Hall of Famer. But McMahon has a Super Bowl ring from what may be the greatest single one-season NFL team ever, the 85 Bears.
And that is the greatest bowl game to this day I have ever seen.
Is that right?
The greatest bowl game of any kind.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
Happy trails to the footing for these refs. The footing on the grass field in Raymond James Stadium was so bad last night, the 2 different referees, they simply tumbled. The second one was consequential because it delayed the ref from spotting the ball, preventing Tampa Bay from trying to gain yards before having to attempt a game-tying field goal on the last play.
You got to stop the clock. It's your fault, not
Didn't
the
do
team.
it.
Stop the damn clock.
Didn't do it.
Can the NFL get anything right? Anything right this
Big
season?
finish
Come on.
quickly.
Let's do it.
The Rockets beat the Jazz for their 14th straight. When will they lose?
December 29 here in Washington. You going to be at the game?
No.
Go see Daryl Morey? Come on, be a man. Go to the game.
No.
USADA investigating whether Justin Gatlin used PEDs. Gatlin says he's clean. You should believe him.
I don't. I don't believe the athletes. He's been busted before. I don't believe the athletes anymore. Indiana lost to Fort Wayne for the second straight season, now 6-6. Big deal.
Are the Zellner Pistons back?
Is it the Zellner or the Zollner?
I thought it was Zellner. Zellner Pistons. History lesson, kiddies.
Zollner.
The Steelers officials ruled Antonio Brown out of Monday's game against the Texans. They can still win without him, right?
Oh, the Texans have cratered. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Last one, Yu Darvish said he had a very good meeting with your Cubs. How badly do you want Yu Darvish?
I want him, and maybe they trade Mike Montgomery for Manny Machado. I'm just saying.
Ward infield, that would be. Yeah. We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the PTI podcast on the app or Apple Podcasts.
Raiders ice cream. Many thanks. As
Where are
long
they
as you
from?
send coffee.
They're from Cincinnati.